Well, hey there, John.
Sam.
What do you say? You and me do a little, we talk about a book.
Okay.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe we could post a video and audio of us talking about the book somewhere on the internet.
See how that goes.
See how that shakes out.
Yep. I have great news about this book we're looking at. Mm-hmm. Imagine there's a big bad guy that you know about. The BBG, right?
Big bad guy, yes.
Yeah, but he's just a frail old dude.
He's so old.
Yeah. And
you could probably trip him and he would
turn to dust.
Solid chance next time this guy takes a shower, he slips.
Yep.
Oh, geez, sorry, old people.
And so and so the climax of the book, don't even worry about it. It's not coming. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to fret.
But we'll get to that in a moment. Yes. Hey, welcome to Sam and John's Book Club. I'm Sam.
I'm John.
And this is a book club, and we're talking about Oathbringer. We've just finished part 2, and we're going to sort of talk about the end of part 2. Mm-hmm. So, step 1, John. First thing first, we got more flashbacks.
Yes.
Gosh darn it, what is it with this Brandon Sanderson guy and all these flashbacks? Huh?
I don't know.
That's what I want to know.
He needs to learn to live in the present.
Seriously. All right, so we have Dalinar. He's back in the past again.
Yep.
Which is how flashbacks tend to go.
Yep.
And he is just a mess. Holy moly. He hasn't been at war in a while because Gavilar's been full diplomacy mode.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know what to do without the thrill of battle in his life.
Yep.
And he is doing fire moss, this world's drug, right? Just like our good friend Teft.
Yep.
He is drinking just
to excess.
In great excess.
Yes. Yeah. He's in a bar where people fight people, and that's no place for a high prince to be.
Yeah, and he finds out that actually he has, possibly in this very bar, maimed his fellow countrymen in extreme, unrecover-fromable ways.
Irrevocable ways.
Yes, thank you. And that's not good.
No.
There's a line where Gavilar is saying something to him like, "Oh, something's wrong," and Dalinar replies, "It's your daughter, her lunacy."
Mm-hmm.
Gavilar's daughter, of course, being Yasna,
right,
who has a shadowy past we know very little about, but now she was apparently at some point insane, or at least classified that way.
Yeah.
She was insane, or maybe this is the other definition of lunacy, where it just means she was really into the moon.
Right.
Who knows?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's no good.
Gavilar goes on during the same speech. He has another line where he says, "When we were ... radiant." And it seems like at this point in Dalinar's past, Gavilar is already talking like the Sons of Honor have gotten to him. Remember that group we discussed in the past?
Yep.
Yeah. At this point, Gavilar
Bringers Back group.
But this is the first time that I've heard Gavilar talk this way.
Right. Yeah.
In a way that sounded Sons of Honor-y. So
explicitly.
That's going on. Also, I think I might have kind of glazed over this, or maybe completely ignored it. But hey, Adolin was born.
Yay!
Good job, Adolin.
Yep.
Congratulations, buddy.
And Dalinar goes over. He's like, "I'm a father now. I need to change." And then and then he does.
No more murder war for me, thank you.
Yeah. He's like, "This is really a defining moment. This is a turning point." And I was like, "Oh, it just took the birth of his son. That's beautiful." And then
that's really cool. And I'm sure that's not going to change really, really soon.
Yeah. Good job, Adolin. Hey.
Yeah.
Your birth was useful.
Gavilar also has a line here when he's talking about stuff. He says, "I can't help feeling words would be enough if only I knew the right ones to say."
Yes. Uh-huh.
And that sounds like he wants to know the words that the Radiants say, right? He wants... Those are the words he's looking for.
Right.
The oaths.
Yeah, the words are powerful.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, what's happening here is that Dalinar's like, "Hooray, I have a son, no more killing people." Gavilar's like, "Hey, I need to go kill some people."
And Dalinar's like, "Oh, finally, get me back in there."
Bada bing, bada boom, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, check it out. We're in the next part now.
Yep.
Very exciting. Dalinar's
No
back
more
on the Shattered
flashback.
Plains. He's looking at... Sorry?
I said no more flashback.
No more flashback. Flashback's dumb.
Yeah.
Nobody liked flashback. Although Dalinar's flashbacks, I think...
Yeah, I've enjoyed them more than the last two.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, they're at the Shattered Plains. They got flown there by Kaladin and the boys, and it didn't even kill anybody.
Yeah, which is great. So that's now a reliable method of transportation. I doubt it's going to start killing people now that it's already worked.
Yeah.
Then again, that would be a very lame way for people to die. Like, Kaladin just dropped him.
Right, oops.
Yeah.
Just get somebody in there to heal him. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Get Renarin on board.
Yeah.
Okay, Dalinar, they're back at the Shattered Plains. Dalinar is there kind of looking into a town. The old Stone Sinew himself, one of the heralds who they, of course, lost. Whoopsie daisy.
He got kidnapped. He got herald napped.
He got herald napped by Amaram.
Yep.
Oh, man, I'm so happy we haven't had to deal with him lately. It sure would suck if he came back.
Yeah, if he shows up, ugh.
Yeah, okay. So Dalinar mentions at some point a trip by boat. Dalinar can't quite remember.
Yeah.
So that's just another little mysterious part of his past that wasn't elaborated on at all.
Yeah, maybe that's his trip to the Night Watcher. Who knows?
Yeah. Fen was sent into another vision. Fen being the queen of some country. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's, what, Thalen or something?
Thalena? I think it is Thalena.
Yeah. I think that's it.
And after being sent into another vision, Fen has decided that she will visit. She is now on Team Dalinar.
Right, she's
or
coming
at least
to Earth
she's getting real close.
Right, yeah. She's coming to actually, letting people into her town so they can open the Oath Gate, and she'll go to the Earth Uru. Hooray.
Yeah. So that's one more Oath Gate down. Hot dog.
Yep, getting these quest logs emptied out.
They found the poison dart on the ground that had been shot at Amaram? They were trying to kill Amaram, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Not Town?
Right. I believe
But Town had deflected it out of the air because
Right.
Town is an
Yeah,
epic
he
warrior.
just caught it and just, threw it or whatever.
Yeah.
So
So
that's
they
some
find that.
evidence. The hole cut into the wall by a shard blade is evidence, so they know it's somebody with a shard blade. So they got some leads at least. That's something.
They got some leads.
Just run some fingerprints on that dart, That'll surely get you there. There's probably a Fabrial that does that.
And then, kind of mid-chapter, we flip over to Moash.
Yep.
Moash is hanging. We learned that there are definitely some fused, right, Voidbringers who do not fly. Last time we were talking, I was saying, do they all fly?
Right, yeah.
They
We kind of get a little bit of a clinic on the different classifications, or at least what Moash has learned.
Yeah. And there are some that basically always fly, and they
Yep.
don't appear to burn Stormlight to fly. It's just like their default state.
Right, yeah.
Which is pretty dope.
Yeah, that sounds cool. They wear big flowy cloaks and stuff.
And I don't have much else to say about this little Moash bit.
Yep. And then we switched to Shallan in that very same chapter, which was abrupt.
Oh, do we? I don't have anything written down about that.
Oh, yeah, no, it's really not that important. It's just when she talks to Elokar, and really the only important thing she mentions is now she can make illusions on objects without having to be there to sustain them or have pattern be the focus for them.
Okay, I put an extra enter in my notes, so I have accidentally separated these chapters. It turns out I do have more notes.
Oh, okay, cool.
So the Voidbringers are farming orchards, setting up lumber yards, etc.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Which, as Moash commented, are some very
apocalyptic,
apocalyptic harbinger things to do.
Right.
Yeah. And he starts laughing because they have ladder crews.
Yeah.
Which is so much like bridge crews,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly. They're like, we're gonna put you out there to die, and we don't even care. And he's like laughing, and they're like, we'll do it, we will. And he just starts laughing even harder. And I'm like, what is Moash's life come to?
Yeah, I really like this though because I feel like you don't see it in books a lot, or at least I don't, where the author so blatantly does the same thing again. Really on purpose, very self-awarely.
Yeah.
Like they did it in Star Wars Episode 7, which was basically Episode 4, but that was,
more
that
so
wasn't
that
like,
people
haha,
wouldn't be
check it out,
mad
we're
at them.
running it back, boys.
Yeah,
It was,
that was like damage control, weirdly. Yeah, this is just like a fun inside joke kind of thing.
I'm like, I like it. I don't really understand it, but I like it.
Yeah,
I don't know. Then again, I'm sure this does happen a lot where, everything is cyclical, as some guy in a band once said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How profound.
So now we're back to Shallan. She gets a letter from the Ghostbloods, and they are, in fact, totally cool with her picking up a retainer.
Yep.
That spy girl.
Yeah.
I had worried that, Shallan throwing around the Ghostbloods mark to,
Right.
influence people was going to come back to bite her. But no, they're, totally fine with it. That's super dope.
Right, and they're a little weird about it. They're like, we'll allow you to do this, as if, Shallan goes with their every whim when she thinks she's kind of playing them.
Well, and in that way, her relationship with the Ghostbloods is kind of similar to her relationship with Yasna, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like she just kind of. It's not exactly manipulative. I guess it is. It is a little bit manipulative.
It's like, and while all of this is happening, while the Ghostbloods are, kind of putting themselves in a place of power over Shallan,
Mm-hmm.
and while Yasna is also doing the same thing, Shallan, every time she comments and she's like, I don't really like that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really cool with that, but at the same time, she keeps letting it happen.
Right, yeah, she goes along
Right.
with it, yeah.
So, I don't know. So, all right, we talked last time about how Shallan was like, ooh, brother murder is kind of hot,
Mm-hmm,
right? Because she's, still into Kaladin.
Right.
Even after the fact that she learned that he killed Helleran.
Yep.
And now, guess who is going on, just the two of them, going on a little trip to open up the
little vacation.
The Oathgate in Thalena.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's Thalen City, I think. Pretty sure.
I think Thalena is the country?
Yeah, I think that's right. But Thalen City is where they're going, the capital.
Okay.
But yeah, they're going on a fun little honeymoon,
Yeah, so first they had their romantic chasm getaway.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And now they have their romantic flying at the front of a high storm getaway.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'll admit, they could pick better date ideas.
Right. I mean,
But,
Shallan, she already went to that place with Adolin where it was the restaurant where the high storm's coming in,
Mm-hmm,
just go to just get coffee or something.
Yeah, come on, guys. It doesn't always have to be high storms, Shallan.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, in Kolinar, there are reports of riots, darkness, Spren taking form, and hurting people.
Mm-hmm.
So last time we checked in with Kolinar, it was not good. Because
Right.
remember, that's where the Ardents were killing themselves and rioting and stuff.
Right. The riots had started, because of the one writing about Elikar's wife being useless.
Yeah, well, I say the Ardents killing themselves,
Right.
but yeah, it was more of it was assisted suicide.
Yeah.
And then we of course heard that the Stormfather couldn't see Kolinar for some reason.
Right.
But things are really going south in Kolinar.
Yeah. Sounds
and
like
I'm wondering,
there's
John,
an unmade up to no good.
I am also thinking it's an unmade. I was
Yeah.
just about to ask you, what do you think this is? And
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, that seems like their MO, at least.
And then, like you mentioned, all right, Shallan will also be going to Kolinar. Okay, time to read the second letter, John.
Okay, hit me.
Saphandrius, bearer of the first gem, you must know better than to approach us by relying upon presumption of past relationship. You have spoken to one who cannot respond. We, instead, will take your communication to us, though we know not how you located us upon this world. We are indeed intrigued, for we thought it well hidden, insignificant among our many realms. As the waves of the sea must continue to surge, so must our will continue resolute, alone. Did you expect anything else from us? We need not suffer the interference of another. Race is contained, and we care not for his prison. Indeed, we admire his initiative. Perhaps, if you had approached the correct one of us with your plea, it would have found favorable audience. But we stand in the sea, pleased with our domains. Leave us alone. We also instruct that you should not return to Obradai. We have claimed that world, and a new avatar of our being is beginning to manifest there. She is young yet, and as a precaution, she has been instilled with an intense and overpowering dislike of you. This is all we will say at this time. If you wish more, seek these waters in person and overcome the tests we have created. Only in this way will you earn our respect.
So I don't even read any of the headers. I just wait until we read it all together, and then I gotta just get a nice raw interpretation of it.
Okay. All right. So, talking to Saphandrius again.
Yes.
That's Hoyt, right?
Right.
Calls him bearer of the first gem.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean?
Right. Is he the first shard? Is there an order to the shards? What is?
Well, he's not a shard because, like we talked about in the last letter, he rejected divinity.
That's right. That's right.
Oy vey.
Oh. And it reminds me of the letter about. I don't know if this was regarding Hoyd, but he's saying he protected something like he protected his own skin or whatever.
Oh, don't recall that.
One? Okay. I don't know. Just maybe that relates to this somehow. But anyway, yeah, go on.
Okay, so race is Odium, right?
Yes, check.
Okay. This person or this like collective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds
this
like
sort of appears to be a collective.
It sounds like a council of elders or something.
I think it's one being.
Oh, like a
that's
hive
like
mind
like a
thing?
split consciousness
Okay, sure.
that seems to inhabit many worlds,
Mm-hmm.
with one like primary world. And if Hoyd goes there and does some cool tests, he could gain this collective's trust.
I guess, yeah. That's yeah. That's how I interpret that.
So that's kind of dope. In terms of, we also instruct that you should not return to Obradai.
Mm-hmm.
I do not recognize the name
No.
of a world called Obradai. I don't think that's come up
Yeah, no, that does
in
not sound
like anything I've read.
familiar. That might, I mean, because there are only so many stories, or at least series of novels in the Cosmere itself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't have too much else to say about this one, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just it seems that Hoyd is making appeals to all of the shards to help him stop race Odium, and it's just not going so hot.
Yep. No, he's like it's a lovely juxtaposition to Dalinar's own please.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you know it?
Wouldn't you know it? All right, moving onwards. Another flashback.
Yes. Oh no.
Oh geez, it's 4 years later, and even though Dalinar had that son,
Mm-hmm.
he is still just loving war and bloodthirst and murder.
He literally lives just to feel the thrill.
Yep.
You know, live to thrill and thrill to live. That's what I always say.
And I mean, not much happens here. He just slaughtered a ton of people, and then his wife shows up with their sons.
Right. And he's
And
like,
he hasn't
"Oh, yeah, I
even
have a
been home to
second
visit."
son." Huh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did have a son. Oh, what is that? He hadn't even been home to visit in like a year.
Right.
So
He hadn't even met Renarin yet. Renarin apparently has a very weird name because of Evie's weird, oh, there's a word I want here.
vernacular.
No, that's close.
I don't know, John.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. Yeah,
That's pretty much it. Yeah, she's like, I want to
Dalinar
be
just
here
kinda
for
sucks.
you, and he's like, I don't want you to be here. I just want to fight people forever.
Yeah, Dalinar is like, you're not a Lethi enough.
Yep.
F you.
Yep.
And he didn't even know Renarin's name.
Yeah.
Evie had written him asking, what should I name our son?
Yeah, and he
He
didn't
never
even,
responded.
Never even read it. Yeah.
And then she shows up. She's like, well, you didn't help name him, so I named him.
Yep.
And then he's mad about the name she gave him.
Right. Like what?
Dalinar just really used to suck a lot.
Yeah. No, he's only getting worse. I thought the chapter where Adolin was born, that was going to be a nice little turning point, but it turns out it was a
Yeah.
turning point, but just to go down further.
Yeah, it's like it's not good.
Right.
It's not good.
It's not.
What else was I about to say, John?
I don't know. You stopped very suddenly. I was afraid. I heard my cat eating food, which I've heard many times, but every time I'm like, what's that noise? And then I look and I see it's my cat eating food every single time.
Oh, I remember. I was going to say that, present Dalinar, cool guy,
Right.
10 out of 10, right?
Excellent.
Past Dalinar,
Bad.
2 out of 10, maybe?
Yeah.
He could be worse.
Yeah. Below average,
3.
certainly.
3, yeah.
I think 3's fair. Yeah.
All right, and then we get like a little bit at the end of this. I don't even know who the speaker is here, or if this is just from a book or something within the universe. But they're talking about glyphs.
I do not remember this for some reason.
What? Oh, well, it wasn't all that interesting, I guess. A person was talking about like the glyphs for storm and eternal and all this stuff. Did you not get this?
Was this like, this wasn't a like little header thing, this was in the chapter?
This was something, Ryan Kramer read it to me.
Huh.
I don't
Here,
know,
let me just, you keep talking about it. I'm gonna grab the book and see if that'll jog my memory.
Okay, well, the only thing of note to me in this section was that the glyph, the Alethi glyph for eternal is Kalad.
Okay.
As in Kalad's phantoms, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
As in Kalad from Warbreaker.
Oh, I think... Okay. I think this is... Here, let me show this to you. I think it's this page, which I didn't realize had, like, important text on it.
Oh,
Because it just
yeah,
looked
that's
like
the one.
A fun little illustration. I was like, oh, neat, and I just flipped right by it.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, Ryan Kramer read that to me, so I found it indistinguishable from the rest of the book.
Yeah, no, yeah, I did not read that. So Kalad, yeah, tell me about it.
So, well, Kalad is the word for eternal.
Mm-hmm.
Coincidence?
Right. And I don't remember exactly. I know Kalad's Phantoms was a thing in Warbreaker, but
This
not
was indeed a
exactly...
thing in Warbreaker, which, as you know, I reread quite recently, so I know everything about Kalad, John.
Right.
Is it possible that Kalad visited Roshar at some point? Kalad, mild spoilers, I guess, for Warbreaker?
Yeah, I was going to say, jog my memory here.
Kalad was one of the scholars. He was of the, I don't know, like umpteenth frickin' heightening. So he was effectively immortal.
Mm-hmm.
If you were gonna name the word eternal after somebody, he's not a bad option.
Yeah, no, I guess that's fair. Man, I should read Warbreaker again.
Warbreaker had a lot of really good information, like Cosmere-wise.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
it was,
I
don't know.
That was like the second book I read, so that was very much lost on me at the time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot more the second time around.
Yeah. I mean, I still have the audiobook. I could just go back and listen to it.
Yeah. All right, so that's what I got out of that, though. Kalad was the interesting thing.
Yes. Okay.
So, it's now the future again. Well, no, the present. We are in, like, Yasna and Navani's scholar room where they're researching stuff. This is still that pillar room.
Yep. Where what's-her-face was at. Unmade girl. Something. Ra Shafir, I think.
Ra Shafir, the Midnight Mother,
yes,
right?
Yes. Anyway.
Okay. There are a bunch of people concentrating, and I found it a little ironic almost that concentration spren were rippling through the air, which just sounds very distracting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Like,
that didn't even occur to me, but yeah.
I don't know, it's just like a little goofy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yasna's people, like people she's talking over Spanreed with, her like network of Aristotelians or whatever they're called, are apparently tracking Nalan.
Right. Yeah, they make reports of like where he was last seen and stuff.
Yeah, one of her contacts is one of the advisors to Yanagon himself.
Yep.
Our sweet boy.
One
of her contacts also saw Axes the Collector. It was just like a real quick little name drop. Mm-hmm. But I was like, oh, hey, I remember him.
Yeah, where's he been?
Yeah. Also, Yasna says that she has drawings of the Herald's true faces from an unexpected source. Gotta be Hoyd, right?
Oh, yep. Okay, sure.
Gotta be. Who else could have given her?
Yeah.
Because he would be an unexpected source to her. Mm-hmm. He's just wit, you know?
Right. And I'm sure he's got excellent art skills because he's holding a lot of breaths after all.
I mean, Hoyt's just good at everything.
Well, that's true.
Let's see. Renarin Spren ought to look like light on a surface after it reflects through something crystalline, according to one of Jasna's contacts.
Mm-hmm.
Have we seen Renarin Spren yet?
I feel like we were told that's what it looked like at one point.
Okay.
I feel like
I think you're right. I think he was describing it.
Yeah. But I don't know that we've actually seen it like on screen.
Yeah. And then Amaram is back.
Oh no. We really jinxed that one, didn't we?
Why did we talk about John? If we hadn't talked about how we didn't want him to come back earlier.
Yeah, he wouldn't. Man, well, let's take this time now to just use our powers for good and say that I really hope that Odium does show up. It's now that I've said
and
it.
Now he won't. Now he won't. That's good, John. All right.
I'm thinking.
All right. It seems like Jasna had like an arranged marriage with Amaram,
and
or
I
something.
feel like we heard about that like once, maybe in book like 1.
Okay.
Because I don't know that was new, but maybe I'm just like inventing that memory. But either way,
which Jasna was not happy about.
Right, she was not into it.
In fact, I have a line here that simply says, "Wow," and I thought I hated that guy.
Yeah. And you're like,
yeah.
Jasna, not such a bad judge of character after all. Perhaps.
Yeah, Jasna has this guy pegged.
Yeah,
for
she just lays into him,
is.
just cuts him deep. Pa pa pa.
Yeah, she has a line where she's like genuinely considering assassinating Amaram.
Mm-hmm.
Or having him assassinated, you know.
Yeah, whatever.
Shallan is telling Jasna that she's going to Kolinar, and she's being such a little dweebus about it. She's like, "Oh man, I guess I have to go to Kolinar. Oh,
I wish I could stay here and be your ward."
I hate it,
yeah.
but yeah, it's just like, come on, Shallan.
And it's like they're a little like it's an anime, and she's standing there, and it goes to like a more rough sketch style. And she's saying all this stuff, and her head's moving like this back and forth, and in the background are just like little hearts and Kaladin's face like popping up in like a little thought bubble thing.
Oh yes,
That's
it gets like really cartoony, like kind of chibi style.
Yep. Yeah, that's what's going on.
And that's how you know it's like a funny little scene.
Right, it's like a goofy. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
I really like.
Hey, Renarin,
Sanderson
John,
put that in there for us.
Wait a
Okay,
minute.
the bit's over. I'm sorry.
John, hold up.
Yes.
How many books are we? How far are we in now to this series?
Or 3 books. 3.5.
And how many times would you consider Renarin's actions to have been useful?
Ooh, he jumped off the roof for comic relief one time.
That was funny.
So like 0.25 usefulness times.
So I guess what I'm saying is that it just seems like bad, like inconsistent character writing to have him suddenly be useful, doesn't it?
Right, yeah. He just out of nowhere, you're like, oh, Renarin has any value to the story? Huh.
No, I'm kidding. I'm happy about it. I'm happy with Renarin.
It's nice to see him turn it around, you know. Now that he's
Renarin does something big, a big useful even.
Right. He makes this big old discovery of magical libraries.
Yeah. Renarin probably just did as much scholarship as everyone in the last 100 years put together.
Yeah.
It took an instant.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so he of course reveals a bunch of gemstones with like ancient knowledge carved into them.
Yep.
So hey. Cool.
Yeah, that's sick. We should go check out.
I write yeet with 3 E's.
Oh wow, you were very excited. We should go see if Alexandria just has a bunch of rocks everywhere. You know, might get lucky.
Ooh, that's very smart.
It was weird.
John is, of course, referencing the real-life Library of Alexandria, which famously burned down, containing most of the world's written knowledge at the time.
Yes. I read about that like moments before jumping on this podcast, and I just had to yank it in here, I guess.
Oh, sure. Okay, back to Moash.
Yep.
Moash Zone.
Oh, man. Moash's little side arc is so weird.
I kind of like it.
I do, yeah. It's like I like that we're getting a look at his personality, and it's so different from everybody else's. Like his whole little arc feels like it's almost a different like world at times.
Yeah.
It's a nice
what
little
I like,
break.
a thing that I like in terms of, I've done a lot of world building for like Dungeons and Dragons mainly, right? And when I'm trying to come up with characters, a thing that I really like to do is to take a group of like bad characters and then to put in one of them that's good, right?
Oh, sure.
Because in any group, there are good people and bad people, even if they're on like the wrong side or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Right. And similarly, for any good group of people, I like to put in one that just really sucks and you hate him.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
And that's something that I really like. Brandon Sanderson does that a ton. Right.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat, you have like the Voidbringers, but also there's Shen or R'laine. You know.
Right.
Who is he's Bridge 4, even though he is one of like the enemies of the first couple of books, even though we're sort of it's being brought to light that the Parchmen themselves aren't so bad.
Right. And I don't know, it's kind of an interesting discussion, I guess, because I feel like in fantasy a lot of the time you kind of fall into the trope that you're just fighting like the god of evil and his whole thing is he just smites people for the fun of it, you know. And you're like, I mean, it's kind of fun for like 20 minutes, you know? But it's like...
Well, that's certainly how it was in like Wheel of Time, for example.
Yeah, definitely.
And like the villain in Wheel of Time is just like evil incarnate, you know?
Exactly. And so it's nice to... I think it's more satisfying conflict when you can like see where the bad guy's coming from, you know? And like he has actual motivations, thinks... And, you know, there's a lot of nuance with that, but... It just makes for more depth. Yeah,
so I just like it a lot. You know, we have one of the Parshmen who is totally in Bridge 4, and we have a member of Bridge 4 who is actually working with the Voidbringers now, right? Like totally willfully.
Yep.
And it's like, it's nice. Also, I really like it as well that these characters don't just exist. It's not just like, here's an idea for a character. Oh, it's a human who's working with the Voidbringers, right? It's also like we have been with this guy since book 1, and we've seen how he got to this point, right?
We have like a relationship with this character.
Yeah. So I don't know, as Moash is straying farther and farther from, you know, I guess what I want for him, I also find myself liking his character more and more.
Right, and it's like he's not so far off from Kaladin's sensibilities that the innocent Parshmen, you know, they like aren't so bad. It's like a weird... There's a little bit of crossover in that Venn diagram, you know?
No, honestly, if you took Kaladin and cranked up his vengeance knob by like a couple of ticks, you basically have Moash, right?
Yeah, more or less.
Like, they're very similar.
Easily
Moash
could have switched places.
There's actually a line that comes up right in this chapter. Okay, so let's talk a bit. So, Moash is making a scene, and one of the Fuse brings him up into the sky and has a chat with him. And we learn that this is actually the one that Moash had killed when he was captured. But, of course, they can come back, and they just inhabit new bodies.
Yep. Lady Leshui, which I now realize, seeing it written down by somebody else, I realized I was saying Lushi the whole time reading it. And Leshui sounds much better.
Lushi just sounds like you're saying Luigi
really
fast or
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We learned that Moash is actually an ancient singer's name, an ancient Parshendi name, which is interesting.
Yeah, fun little...
I don't think it's like significant, but it is interesting.
Yeah, just a fun little symbolism thingy.
Moash is hearing some voice in his head telling him like it's not your fault and stuff. Is that a misprint, or is that just his conscience trying to, or what is this?
You know, we'll find out. I just get on the roller coaster. I don't surmise how it was built, you know.
John, what's the point of this podcast then?
You're right. All right, thanks for listening.
Okay, so she's got him up in the sky, and she's saying, like, what gives you such passion? And here, if he were Kaladin, right?
Yeah.
He would have said, you know, lifting up the oppressed.
All right.
Right?
Pretty much.
But instead, what does he say? Say it, John. I know you remember exactly. It's one word. Starts with a V.
Vegetables.
So close.
No. Yeah, Venn
diagram.
Victory.
No, any second now.
Velociraptor.
Okay, John, please.
Vengeance.
There you go. So that's the difference between Moash and Kaladin, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. It's like, and it's kind of polar opposites, really. I mean, like, Kaladin's whole defining moment of becoming a Radiant was like realizing he has to protect people that he doesn't like, whereas Moash just holds a grudge against the people he doesn't like to a fault, to an entire character definingness.
Yeah, and that's where they differ exactly.
Yep.
All right, so and then hey, bada bing bada boom, he goes down, he finds all his Parshman buddies, the super oppressed ones, and he's like, I'm gonna teach you guys how to use spears. And looky here, we have Bridge 4 Mark II, except now it's Ladder 4.
Ladder 4.
Yeah.
This doesn't have the same ring to it, but hey, but you know, they'll get patches.
It's cool.
It'll be a club. Is this gonna? You think there are fans? I haven't finished this book, obviously, but is this like a team Edward, team Wolf guy sort of thing?
Jacob?
Yeah, Team Jacob.
Oh my God, that is such a Team Edward thing to say. Forget Jacob. Yeah, Team Jacob for life. Don't at me because I don't use Twitter.
But yeah,
no, I don't think there's anybody who's like, oh, Moash is such a hug. I hate Kaladin.
Yeah, no.
But
just a Ladder 4, Bridge 4 is a good, it's a good little rivalry sort of thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right, R'laine, poor R'laine. We have a chapter from his perspective.
Yeah.
Which might be a first. I don't know.
I think it is.
And he cannot use Stormlight.
Yep. Which
very sad.
Isn't very surprising. Seems like a genetic thing.
Yeah. We also learned that Kaladin has to be within 50 miles or so of all of his squires for them to get their Stormlight powers.
Yep.
And if he were to go through an Oathgate, for example, they would all lose their ability to fly within an hour or two. Mm-hmm. And hopefully they would not be airborne when that happens.
Right, yeah.
We discussed that being gay is extra manly in this universe.
Right.
Whereas reading is incredibly feminine.
Yeah.
And I just think that's funny because, I mean, it is honestly all very arbitrary cultural stuff.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
What makes you manly or non-manly or whatever.
Yeah.
Because, like, in Roman times, I think that having gay lovers, or at least like being a top in a gay relationship, was considered like super manly.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, there's like nothing more masculine than that.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. It's just funny that it's all. Brandon Sanderson he's drawing attention to the fact that it's also arbitrary.
Right. Yeah.
And
it's pretty fun.
It's just
like,
and he's making the argument here, like, just let people do what they want. He wants to read, let him read. Jeez, you know. Like,
yeah. Why do you have to impose your weird cultural gender roles?
Yeah, so I really like this. I really like this whole bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, but poor R'laine, though. I feel very bad for R'laine.
Yeah, he's just an outcast in so many ways.
Yeah.
He and Runnerin should hang out more, you know?
I actually also really liked this line where Kaladin said, I know how you feel. And R'laine said, do you really know how I feel?
Like, no, you don't.
Or is that just a thing men say?
Right.
And Kaladin said, well, I guess it's just a thing men say.
Yeah.
But if you want to tell me how you feel,
yeah,
I'll listen. And I was like, dang, this is just... For just like a rando Bridge 4 person little chapter, which I normally don't really care about that much.
Yeah.
I just really like this one.
Yeah, that was solid, because it's like, I've had that happen where, it's just like a thing you say to like comfort somebody. You're like, you want to, make them feel less like alone in something, and you're like, yeah, I know how that feels. And they're like, do you really though? And you're like, no. I was just saying that to make you feel better.
I mean, honestly, even if you go through like exactly the same thing as somebody else, you still can't know how they feel because everybody processes things in different ways, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's nice though to be able to like sympathize and like relate and like have that feeling of like being, not being alone. I guess togetherness.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like I know how you feel is always a false statement.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, it's always said with good intentions, but hardly ever is it genuine.
Yeah. But it is, as Kaladin says, I guess it's just a thing men say.
Right. But he does the right thing, and he's like, if you want to tell me how you feel, yeah, I'm here for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this chapter so much, just really unexpectedly.
Yeah, very wholesome.
Okay. We learned that Dalinar can bring anybody into visions at any time as long as you're holding their hands.
Yep.
So bada bing, bada boom. He brings some folks, Navani and Yasna, into a vision, even though it's not a high storm.
Right, the vision of the recreants happening real time.
Or I guess this one actually, maybe we learned that he can do it not during a high storm, but this one must have been a high storm because Yanagon's there as well.
Right.
Yeah, so he brings in Yanagon.
Continues
Oh, you know what? It wasn't a high storm where Dalinar was, because of course they're in different parts of the world.
Oh, right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
Yep.
That's why it came up. Got it.
Yeah. But he's just kind of going through his like bring people into a bunch of visions until they like see why I'm doing the things I'm doing until they decide to join me.
Yeah.
Which good strat, honestly, working out okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great way to force people to meet with you, and also to show them stuff that is likely to influence them to be on your team, right? Because, like, look at these freaking desolations. Like, do you want this?
Right.
And the guy's like, no, and he's like, well then,
let's
talk.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Yasna brings up this idea that what they're witnessing might be a false desolation,
right?
Which is apparently like some like very disputed history, or whatever.
That's a theory, I guess. Not a conspiracy theory, but a historical theory. I don't know.
Yeah, after Aharietiam, which is the last desolation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Many of the Voidbringers actually survived, and the fighting continued for a while after the desolation ended.
Right.
Oh, which actually makes perfect sense, because that desolation never did end? No, it did, because Taln went back.
Yeah. So he was holding it off while everybody else quit.
Maybe because it was only one of them that went back.
It was like a desolation light.
It was a desolation light. They I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a pretty it's happening or it ain't sort of thing. But oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry.
Okay.
I was moving my microphone that attaches to my headset so that my cat wouldn't knock it off the desk, and she knocked it off the desk in such a way that I cannot retrieve it.
All right. Well, hey, we're almost done. You can pick it up in a second.
Yep.
All right. So Yanagon is saying, "I'm not important," and that's sad because it's also true.
Yeah, he's like, it's my advisors that are, doing everything. I'm kind of just a figurehead, really.
Yep. And that happens, and they have their little talk, and then Yanagon leaves, and the vision doesn't end.
What?
Bum 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 bum.
Wait,
oh
why?
no, John, it didn't work.
Oh shoot.
Oh no, Odium did show up.
Ah, damn it.
Whoa, and this honestly blindsided me. Even the second time around, I was like, "What? This soon?
Yeah.
We're only in part 2. Why is Odium here?"
I know. Yeah. It was very. Because I knew that something big is gonna happen because it's the end of the part, but this is not what I expected at all.
Yeah, this was whack. All right, so I loved this line as well, by the way, where Dalinar was like, "You're him, God."
Yeah.
And he says, "Honor? No. I'm the other one. They call me Odium." And I'm like, imagine just like, oh, right. So and then, he's just like very
behind him, an organ player just like, and it's like Phantom of the Opera-esque.
Like, these are the sorts of moments I want my big bad guys to deliver in D&D, but that I don't have the ability to pull off in a way that doesn't seem super lame.
Well, right. I mean, it's got to be like, it's harder in D&D because you can't control the pacing and the big reveal, I guess, as easily.
Yeah, it's just, so cool.
Yeah.
And then, let's pause and do the third letter. Okay, John. Friend, your letter is most intriguing, even revelatory. I would have thought, before attaining my current station, that a deity could not be surprised. Obviously, that is not true. I can be surprised. I can perhaps even be naive, I think. I am the least equipped of all to aid you in this endeavor. I am finding that the powers I hold are in such conflict that the most simple of actions can be difficult. I am also made uncertain by your subterfuge. Why have you not made yourself known to me before this? How is it you can hide? Who are you truly, and how do you know so much about Idenalcium? If you would speak to me further, I request open honesty. Return to my lands, approach my servants, and I will see what I can do for your quest. Who's
Who
the
is
author, John?
this? I don't know.
You don't know who the author is?
No.
Let me reread one of these lines.
Okay.
I can perhaps even be naive, comma, I think. Come on. John!
No, I don't know.
Whoa, stop right there. Hey, it's Future Sam here to warn you that we are about to discuss some overall Cosmere spoilers. So if there are other books in the Cosmere that you have yet to read, you might want to skip ahead to the timestamp 4655. Alright? Okay, or you could just pause the video and read the books and come back. I don't know. Alright. Dude, it's freaking Sazed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is like to a T his speech pattern.
Sure, yes, it is. Yeah, no, that's
And he's saying, I would have thought before attaining my current station that a deity could not be surprised.
right, because yeah. Oh man.
He was not a deity, but now he is one.
Right.
Also, wait, there's another. I am finding that the powers I hold are in such conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, dude. Because he's got ruin and preservation.
Right. We should maybe pop back in the editing and throw some spoiler alerts in here.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we should. Yeah, so dude, it's freaking Sazed.
Yeah, it totally is. Now that now I hear you say it that way, but that was like not at all. I was thinking totally in this universe, like. But yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sazed, unlike the other mean letter writers, is very willing to cooperate with our boy Hoyd.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I don't really know stuff. I'm pretty new to this whole shard game. You just you hit me up with some info, and we'll see what shakes out.
Yeah, he says, I am the least equipped of all to aid you in this endeavor, but, like, hey, come back to my lands, and we'll talk.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do for your quest, he says.
Mm-hmm.
So that's dope.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Odium.
Yep.
Odium and Downer have a nice little chat, and Odium's kind of not that bad.
Yeah, Odium's, he's
like... He's
kind of logical.
Kind of a bro, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, come, sit with me. And at one point, he floors Dalinar with the sheer awe of his incredible cosmic might. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, get up. And he helps him back up. And he's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's fun.
He wears white and gold, John. Those are good guy colors.
Yeah,
what the heck?
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's when we saw his champion, his presumed champion, it was this horrifying figure with 9 shadows and exactly every evil imagery of a big fantasy villain you think about. And this guy, you're just like, just a quirky old guy.
Yeah. So I don't know. This is, I mean, what do we learn? We learned Odium is for some reason trapped on Roshar. Mm-hmm. But it seems like Dalinar does have the ability to free him as Honor's representative.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Because he keeps talking about how he's like, you'll release me at some point, you know?
Yeah.
Sooner or later. I got time. I got nothing but time.
Odium is saying, we're not so different, you and I. Why why did you take control from Elhokar? It was for the greater good, right? Mm. And look what I'm doing. Same deal. That's why I'm killing all the gods.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking maybe it's not so far off because Odium is talking about how no man can serve 2 gods, right? Mm-hmm. Just like Dalinar is, in a sense, Odium is trying to unite them, right?
Right.
Them being everybody under himself.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. He's the Empire in Star Wars. Were they really the bad guys?
Who's to say? Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, but, same kind of thing. He's like, yeah, it's really, here's my motives, I'm just telling you what I'm about, straight up.
Yeah. He says that once he escapes, he is totally going to kill cultivation, mm-hmm. and he will also have to eliminate the splinters of honor left behind.
Right.
Are those the Spren?
I think so, yeah, because that's what Syl is.
Oof. That would be very rude.
That seems like a problem, yeah.
Odium says that Odium's not such a bad name for him, but a better name might be Passion.
Right, yeah, he's not just hate.
He says that he's the embodiment of all emotion. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's kind of... I mean, I wouldn't want all passion and emotion to go away.
Yeah,
he's an essential part of the whole deal.
Right.
But it kind of makes sense that if one god were going to decide to kill all of the others, it would be passion.
Yeah, he's the god of second-degree murder, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just, you know, second-degree murder is just one way that passion manifests, and it's just an unfortunate one.
Yeah. He has a line as well to Dalinar where he says, "Ask that of cultivation next time you see her." What is he supposed to ask of her? I don't remember. The part I'm fixating on is next time you see her.
Right.
Has Dalinar met cultivation already? Kind of sounds like it.
Yeah.
And Odium says that you know you have met her, but that she took that memory from you.
Mm-hmm.
Is cultivation just the Night Watcher?
You see, I thought about that, but it's like, aren't we like so sure that the Night Watcher is a spren? But even if it were, I guess spren are kind of pieces of gods. But can one spren be a whole god? You know, like
an alternate theory is that I don't think that Dalinar actually remembers meeting the Night Watcher, right?
Yeah.
I think that it is possible that he went somewhere and did something, maybe by boat. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he came back home and he had lost these memories, and maybe he assumed that he must have gone to see the Night Watcher.
Sure.
When maybe another, possibly greater force was at work.
Yeah, because that would make sense why his, like, boon and curse have now, like, worn off, given that there was no...
We never learned his boon.
Right, yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have a boon, because maybe this is a totally different thing.
Right, yeah, because back when... I don't know, yeah, because I was just confused, like, how the Night Watcher and Cultivation could be the same person, but yeah, you're totally right, because they were really hammering home, like, all documented cases of the old magic lasted forever, right? And, like, Dalinar was an outlier that just didn't make any sense. It wasn't like the exception proves the rule sort of situation. It was like, this does not track at all. And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're probably right.
I don't know.
He probably took, the boat ride was probably the one that happens in Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, okay.
You know about that one? That really weird scene.
Oh, dude, I've watched that movie a couple of times. Yeah.
Turns out Gene Wilder was just going real heavy improv that day, and everybody was like, all right, I guess we'll roll with it. And, like, that whole sequence, he was just yelling, like, random stuff. And everybody's
really?
Like, yeah. He was just like, this is what we're doing today.
Oh, my God. That's, like, one of the most memorable scenes from that film.
Yeah, no, it's horrifying, but in a kind of fun way.
Okay, so there's this bit kind of at the end here where Odium turns as if he thinks someone else is there, and I'm like, oh my God, is there something Odium fears? Like something he's paranoid about?
Right, he's looking over his shoulder for.
And I'm thinking, like, what could be so powerful that Odium fears it, you know?
Yeah.
And Odium leaves. And it's Lift.
It's Lift.
No, it wasn't something so powerful that Odium feared. He just heard something.
No, I had the same kind of like over dramatic suspense feeling there, and it was like he just heard like a bee, and he was like, oh anyway. Yeah.
So Lift shows up, and she's like, "Man, I don't trust you, Dalinar." But that guy sucks.
What is that guy's deal?
Yeah. So, just kind of by virtue of Odium really sucking, Lift is now on Team Dalinar.
Right, that was easy. And, it's not so crazy to think that, like, we knew we were going to have to get Lift on our side by some really weird, unconventional method.
And there it was.
Yep, checkaroony.
And also... they don't need to convince all of Aesir to open the Oathgate, do they?
Nope.
They just need a Knight Radiant on the side who's down.
Yep.
And now they have one. So I'm not sure whether Lift is going to like actually convince the Aesish folks to work with Dalinar, or if she's just going to pop it open.
Right,
I'm kind of trying to decide.
Yeah.
Which one? Yeah.
It seems like her, character to just kind of do it.
She is like to a T an agent of chaos.
Right. She's like an act first, maybe think second.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
The more that Lift just like pops in and out, I'm like, you know what, Lift, not so bad. It's not that I didn't like her before, but it was like she seemed almost too chaotic to the point where I was like, this is like exhausting to form an opinion on.
Well, at first she felt like a different genre from the rest of the book.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
like it was like jarring to.
Yeah, it was
go
too
back
hard
and
to
forth.
like. It was too hard to get invested in because it was so off the beaten path.
But now, as she interacts more with characters that I know, she starts to feel more normal. I guess.
Right. It's less a like character that's from a completely different genre to like a character in this genre with just some quirks that are further out there than the norm.
Yeah. She's like that one animal in every Disney movie who's just for like comic relief.
Yeah. Or the second one that they have to add in for some reason.
Yeah, this is what Brandon Sanderson was like, oh, I need something for merchandising. I know, Lyft. And there's going to be Lyft toys now.
It's like, okay, real quick, this happens in 2 Disney movies, all right? You
Okay.
pointed the first one out to me. In Tangled, right?
Yeah.
There's Maximus, is that the horse's name?
Yes.
And he's like the fun comic relief animal. But then there's also
And I like him. Yeah.
There's also the dumb chameleon.
Yeah, dude, I hate that dumb frog.
Yeah, what is
That
his-
stinky lizard.
Why is he there? And so you told me about this the first time I watched Tangled. You're like, I don't get this, and I was like, huh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then the first time I watched Frozen, I was like, oh, Sven the reindeer, he's cool, he's the fun comic relief, and then Olaf shows up.
Okay, well, I do like Olaf.
I haven't seen the second one, but Olaf just seemed too.
Olaf is. I think I like him less in the second one.
Yeah, he just seemed like kind of unnecessary. Like he just seemed like a fun little thing. But then when the movie came out, Olaf was like everybody's favorite character, and it was just. Oh, I don't know why.
Olaf
this is
had the
hill I wanna die
line
on.
where he said, oh, "I've been impaled," and I liked that one. I thought that was funny when he got impaled.
Right. But then he's by the fireplace, and he says some people are worth melting for, and some girl's gonna get a tattoo of that on like her ankle. And that makes me upset.
Dude, I'm gonna look up "Some People Are Worth Melting For" tattoo right now.
Perfect. You know what? If you find any good ones, I'll indulge in a little love to hate sesh.
Oh no! Oh, look at this one. It's like a full arm tattoo.
Oh no.
Don't worry, guys. I'll put a screenshot of this in the YouTube video if we're watching YouTube.
Oh jeez. Are you just throwing it in our chat here?
I just put it in Discord. Yeah.
Okay, let me look. Oh yes, this is everything of my nightmares.
Oh god.
This is like I wake up after some crazy night of drinking, and I find out I got this tattoo, and that's when I'm like, well, this is rock bottom.
By the way, if by some incredible twist of fate, you, one of our viewers / listeners, are the person with this tattoo,
Yeah.
I love it. I just wanted to throw that out
Yeah.
there.
If
I
you
think it's
if you
really good.
like all of our content, everything I just said was just a funny joke, and
Yeah, John and I, sometimes
liked
we
it
get like so caught up in
that
like this
much.
ironic dialogue that
Yeah.
it starts to sound like we really mean it.
and you know that
But
if
no.
we get that deep into it, that means we like you a lot.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's what we do when we like love something.
Right.
But if the person with this tattoo isn't watching, it is terrible.
It's horrifying.
But maybe that was irony. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we've talked about exclusively the book for
Right.
a while now, I think this is where we're gonna end this one off.
Yep.
So hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Next time, John, you know what we're gonna do?
We're gonna read Oathbringer.
We're gonna read. That's
Part
right.
3, Section 1.
We're gonna a couple of interludes,
Mhm.
as well as chapters 58 through 64.
Sounds good to me.
A total of 33,309 words.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
That sounds good. Bye.